There is no respite in the rising cost of housing. Soon buyers will be paying more for corrugated sheets, paint and metal reinforcements, three crucial elements used in house construction, as manufacturers of building materials raise their prices to reflect what they say is the rising cost of doing business.
The biggest challenge, I think, currently for all building industry will be the sourcing of material, the actual availability of raw materials.
Some people would argue that the price index has generally been moving up, and you would not expect cement and steel and paint to cost the same as probably it did 6-7 years back.
Consequently, the cost of window frames, door panels and reinforcement steel used to hold buildings in place, among other items, are set to increase, resulting in higher costs of construction, higher house prices and eventually higher rents. The price of paint is set to go up by 6% in a week's time, while steel makers have increased the prices of construction bars, galvanized sheets and steel tanks.
And more so if you look at what is happening in China, there's a lot of development and of course a lot of consumption for steel. And that again tends to encourage, the increase in these prices.
Paint only contributes about 5% of the overall cost of a construction project. So there I do not think it's really going to affect significantly the cost of property.
Devki Steel Mills, Kaluworks and Insteel, the key players in the steel industry, have raised the prices of steel bars up to 21% to an average of 85 shillings a kilogram since the start of the year, from 78 shillings. On average, the cost of corrugated sheets, paint and metal account for about 20% of construction costs. Moreover, ongoing robust construction activities in Brazil, India and China following the global economic recovery, including the unusually harsh winter, has upped demand for iron ore and coal. As a result, in the past 2 months, the price of basic steel has risen 33% in tandem with an increase in iron ore and coal prices.
It's going to be a tough ride for the coming year for not just paint manufacturers, a lot of those in the petrochemical industry at $100 a barrel of oil, and we don't know where it's going to go with Middle East coming in the way it is.
Financiers say that the development is bound to affect property developers, financiers and the buyers, as projections, some of which have been fully funded and closed, may need to be revised upwards.
What that means is that then the customer must raise 30%, and if these costs are increasing, then what that means is that they need to raise a higher level of equity.
A rise in construction costs results in delays in completion of projects, developers digging deeper into their pockets, and ultimately an increase in the price of property. But while paint and steel dealers increase prices, cement, a key ingredient in the construction industry, has relatively remained stable over the last year. In 2009, cement makers reduced their product prices 3 times to reflect the falling input prices and increased competition to below 700 shillings per bag in Nairobi. The prices have relatively remained the same since, despite growth in demand for housing.